All right, let's get right into it. If you're doing the Level 6 Project Controls Apprenticeship, the one I'm talking about, K13, Analysis Techniques, it sounds, well, a little scary, right? Like you're supposed to be some kind of data genius. But here's the thing, what if it's not about being a genius at all? What if it's really about being a detective? Yeah, you heard me. Let's go crack this case.
So let me introduce you to Jody. She's a level 6 apprentice over at IBA Stores, and honestly, she's crushing it. She's on top of her schedules, her cost tracking is spot on. But there's this one thing, this one part of her apprenticeship that just feels like a complete puzzle she can't figure out.
And yep, you guessed it. That puzzle is K13.
Every single time she looks at the requirements, it's like her brain just shuts down. It all feels so abstract, and it doesn't seem to connect to anything she actually does day to day. If you're nodding along right now, hey, don't sweat it. You're not alone. You and Jody are in the exact same boat. And guess what? We're about to find the treasure map.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to follow Jody's whole journey. First, we'll look at our K13 challenge, and then figure out what analysis actually is. Then we'll see it in action at IBIS, get a simple 5-step plan to level up your own skills, cover how to show off what you've learned, and then how to absolutely ace that final assessment. Sound good? Let's do it.
Okay, first things first, we have to demystify this whole thing. So Jody goes to her coach, Olivia, to really dig in and figure out what K13 is all about. And this, my friends, is where we find our very first clue.
So, let's look at the official definition, but let's actually read between the lines. It says, the applied understanding and use of different analytical approaches to interpret project data. Did you catch that? The really important words here aren't calculate or report. No, they're understand, use, and interpret. It's all about making sense of the numbers so you can help the team make smarter decisions. That's it.
And this is the moment where everything changes. Olivia gives Jody this piece of advice that is just a total game changer. She says, stop thinking like a data scientist, start thinking like a project detective. And boom, it all just clicks into place for Jody. Think about it, a detective doesn't just collect a list of facts, right? They connect the dots, they hunt for patterns, and they're always asking that one big question, why?
This really breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you have what K13 isn't. It's not about being a data scientist, it's not about just spitting out numbers in a report, and it's not about some super technical calculation. Nope, it is all about that applied understanding we talked about. It's about interpreting what you see and explaining it. And most of all, it's about using your professional judgment. You are literally the Sherlock Holmes of your project.
All right, so theory is one thing, but let's see this in action. How does this project detective stuff work in the real world? Well, Jody walks into a meeting with her manager, Rittel, and Rittel has a problem, a real live case that needs solving.
So, Rittel gets straight to it. Our project costs, she says, are trending 15% over budget. But then she says the most important part. Jody, I don't just want the numbers, I want to know why. See, she's not asking for a spreadsheet. She's asking for the story behind the numbers. That right there, that's the call to action for our detective. She needs insights, not just raw data.
So, what does Jody do? She opens up her Project Detective's toolkit. And inside, you've got things like trend analysis, variance analysis, forecasting. Now, these aren't just buzzwords. These are your investigative tools. Think of trend analysis like following a set of footprints over time to see where they lead. And variance analysis? That's like dusting for fingerprints at a specific crime scene. It's all about picking the right tool for the right clue.
Okay, so Jody's got her mission. She knows what she needs to do. But every good detective needs a plan of attack, right? That's where her mentor, Adam, comes in. He lays out a super clear 5-step plan to become an expert analyst. And this plan, it's your roadmap too.
And here it is. This is the path. Step 1, understand your techniques. You got to know what's in your toolkit. Step 2, know their benefits and limitations. I mean, you wouldn't use a fingerprint kit to analyze a footprint, right? Step 3, interpret what the data is telling you. This is where you spot the clues. But step 4, this one is huge. Explain why it's happening. And finally, step 5, use all that to inform decisions. You take your findings to the project board and give them the intel they need to act.
Now, this next part is absolutely critical. It's great to be an amazing detective, but for your apprenticeship, you have to prove it, right? You need to show your work. So Coach Olivia is back to walk Jody through how to build a solid case file for the assessors on a platform like Aptum.
Pay close attention here because this is so important. What you see on the right is weak evidence. Just listing techniques or handing over a chart with no explanation, that's not going to cut it. Assessors don't want raw data. They want your detective's notebook.
What you see on the left, that's the strong stuff, explaining why you picked a certain technique, your interpretation of the trends, and most importantly, the recommendations that came from your analysis. It's the full story of your investigation.
So to really hammer this home, think of it like this. When an assessor looks at your work, this is basically their checklist. They're asking, are you interpreting? Or are you just describing what's there? Are you explaining the why? Is there a clear straight line from your analysis to an actual decision? And are you using your professional judgment? Ticking all those boxes, that's what being a level 6 professional is all about.
Okay, we're getting close to the finish line now. The big one, the endpoint assessment, the EPA. To get Jody ready, her mentor Adam sits down with her for a practice run, a mock professional discussion. He's going to hit her with the kind of questions she can expect on the big day.
So Adam kicks things off with a classic EPA-style question. Notice he doesn't ask, what is trend analysis? No, he asks, why did you choose trend analysis for this problem? He's not testing her memory, he's testing her reasoning, her detective's logic.
And Jody's answer? It's perfect. She doesn't just give a textbook definition. She connects the tool directly back to the problem she was trying to solve. She explains that she needed to find an underlying pattern over time, not just a one-off issue. She even uses that killer phrase, distinguish a symptom from the root cause. Now that is a level 6 answer.
Adam's not done though. He hits her with a follow-up, and this one is just as important. He's asking about the impact, the so what. He wants to know what happened because of your analysis. What was the outcome? And again, she nails it. Her answer is super specific and totally focused on the outcome. She says her analysis pointed to one single supplier, and because of that, she recommended renegotiating terms, which got approved. See that? She drew a direct line from her analytical insight to a real business decision that fixed the problem. Case closed.
And just like that, Jody's transformation is complete. That scary, confusing K13, it's not a monster anymore. Now it's her detective's badge. She's confident. She knows her job isn't to be a human calculator, it's to be an investigator, to find the story hidden in the data and help her team succeed.
So you see, by just reframing K13, thinking of it less like data science and more like detective work, you can turn what feels like a huge challenge into one of your biggest strengths. It's all about being curious, using logic, and telling a compelling story. You've got the tools, you've got the plan, so the only real question is, what case are you gonna solve first?